What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Run the Floor podcast. Yes, this is very different. You are seeing Chris and I on a pod with not Tom, not Dean, not anybody else. This is Christian, this is O'Sleazy, and this is The Shields, and I'm going to properly introduce them in just a minute. You guys obviously know who we are. This is the brand new podcast for the Ball Game podcast. This is under our umbrella. You guys are going to be seeing this on our channel, on our social medias, and we are very excited to announce it. It is the Ball Game version of the basketball podcast. We have not been covering basketball on our podcast. That's no secret. Ball Game has not covered basketball at all, for that matter. But we brought in three guys who love basketball, love the game, some of which have played the game at pretty decently high levels. So I'm excited to talk about this with them. We're going to say some crazy stuff on this. I will just preface that first and foremost. Hot takes will be coming left and right because we brought the all-star crew out. So first, let me introduce you to Christian. Christian is the biggest LeBron fan you will ever meet in your entire life. If that is not apparent enough by the two jerseys that he has hanging behind him, this man has unlimited ball knowledge, is on both the court and off the court. He is a very, very, very close friend of mine, and I'm blessed to be able to say that. Christian, welcome to the Ball Game universe. We've been waiting for a long time.
It's an absolute pleasure. I am so excited to get this started. Chop it up, talk basketball. We have a hell of a season coming up, and man, I am excited.
I wanna tell a story. You mentioned playing basketball at high levels. Me and Christian, we played AAU together.
We did. We did.
In the sixth or seventh grade.
Jeez.
Staten
Love
Island
that
Stingrays. And I had a chance. Our coach, our good friend, recently engaged coach,
That is correct. I did see that. Yes.
recently engaged coach, gave us a chance for the bench players to play the starters in 1v1s to take their starting spots. Me and Christian, being the tall, big men we are, we're power forward. So I had a chance to play Christian one-on-one for his starting spot. Christian beat me 11-0.
Whoa, oh my God.
Christian beat me 11-0.
I don't remember that.
Not a single point. Not a single point. So, I mean, you want to talk about a guy who could play this game at a high level, you're looking at him right there.
I peaked as a freshman. For sure.
Christian has honestly forgotten more NBA knowledge than I will ever remember or even talk about in this podcast. He's a ball knower, I promise you guys that. Second,
I appreciate the introduction.
Of course. I love you, buddy, and I'm glad we finally got you here. So, second, we have DeShields over here. And DeShields is the most unintentional rage baiter you will ever meet in your entire life. We met this man in college. We are very lucky to be able to call him a friend. His takes are absolutely awful 99.9% of the time, but somehow, some way, he has a base and has a reason for it. So you guys are going to be introduced to him. We are very lucky to have you.
Man, it's an opportunity. I really love it. I know these guys since I was in college. Like they said, we've had our back and forths. I feel like I've been right more often than I've been wrong. But
you've had your moments where we've relentlessly shit on you and you've come out victorious. You've definitely had your moments.
Against the odds, like my good friend Christian over here, bro, is a LeBron fan. A 3-1 comeback is always possible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
always.
I love that.
We've had some absolute wars in group chats together, and I'm happy that we finally get to bring this to the screen so the rest of the people can see. And
on the same people.
yes,
You want to talk about wars? I have a story for everyone, Mr. DeShields. We were in college, and I'm sure you guys know, you guys watching, I'm sure you guys have had your experiences trying to go 12-0 in my team. I think I'm the 12-0 king. Even right now, not playing 2K in like 5 years, I think I could get on. You give me a week, I'm going 12-0. I don't even know if they still have that in my team, but if they did,
Not after the second patch that they just dropped yesterday.
bro.
I'll tell you that right now.
But
Yeah.
I was on the road to 12-0 in 2K20. I had Diamond Chauncey Billups. I had Amethyst Lance Stevenson. He was goated. And I was 11-0. And our good friend DeShields decided to backseat coach me. And I said, yo, DeShields, shut the hell up because I'm going to lose. And when I lose, I'm going to be really angry at you in my ear. and then I lost. And then me and the Shields didn't talk for a week.
Wow.
We lived together.
Honestly,
in the same room. We lived together, and we didn't talk
honestly,
for a
trying to
week.
go 12-0, it get like that.
It does get like that. Well, the thing is, too, the very next run, as I was locked in, not talking to my roommate, I did it. And it was for
So you made it happen.
I think it was Galaxy Opal James Worthy.
Yeah.
Galaxy Opal James Worthy. Yeah.
Big game, James. Love that.
Big game James. So, yeah, I mean, you want to talk about wars, man. We've had them.
Wow.
Bro lived with somebody that didn't talk to him for a week.
I will say, though, when we were living
That's
together,
petty. That's petty.
it was on me. But when we were living together, there was that trend. I don't know if you guys remember, where people discovered that a broom stands on its own if you just place it. So I thought it was very cool. So I put the broom in the middle of our room, our dorm, and I said, "Don't touch the broom. And let's see how long it lasts." And I think it was over a month, right?
Over a month.
Yeah,
Over
just
a month.
in the middle
And
of our
then-
room.
Some random person walks into our room and knocks the broom over, just being like, I don't even know. It was like unintentional. They kind of just like walked in there, just like weren't paying attention where they were going. And I feel like something broke. We both looked at each other. We were like,
Devastated.
Brutal.
it just happened.
Devastated.
Brutal.
Did it just happen? That was supposed to last, bro. It was supposed to last.
Oh my God.
Don't think we forgot about you, because we didn't. We never
Yeah,
could. The final person that I get the chance to introduce here is someone that, honestly, we had no idea even existed prior to us creating Ball Game. But people say things happen for a reason, and thankfully, the internet has brought us somebody that we call way more than a fan. He is one of our closest friends at this point. You've seen him on multiple occasions. He is in our group chat, the most active group chat that we currently have at the moment. He is the greatest rage baiter you will ever meet in your entire lives. And again, as I said before, we are very lucky to have met you through the internet, through the platform that we have now, and very lucky to call you a friend. Sleazy, welcome to the podcast full time.
Man, thank you for having me, man. It's been a long time coming. I absolutely love you guys. Love everything you do, man. I'm excited for this. I'm not gonna lie.
We're getting a little emotional here. We're all getting a little
excited.
emotional.
No, I
I'm
might cry.
excited for this.
I might cry. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
dope. No,
This has a lot of potential.
So much.
it does. So that was the nicest we're ever going to be on this podcast.
Oh, wait,
Let's
I
just-
have an
Yeah,
O'Sleazy story.
now I hate you.
I have an O'Sleazy story. We've been
Oh,
friends
God.
for O'Sleazy for a few years now. Like Matt said, he just came into our lives and just stuck around. O'Sleazy was the first fan ever who reached out to us and said, "Let me on the pod." I'll never forget it. We started in September of 2022. I got a DM on Thanksgiving of 2022 in our TikTok from O'Sleazy.
I think I said it just like that. Let me on the pod.
Let me on the pod. And then I got another DM from someone else saying, "Yo, let my boy on the pod. He's mad fire," or something like that. And now look at us. You're on the pod.
You are the pod. You are now the
Absolutely.
pod. So
I was sending out the hounds, bro. I needed somebody to get y'all attention, bro.
well, obviously, thankfully, it all worked itself out, and here we are now. I have a quick O'Sleazy story. It's not even really a full story, but you need to come back and visit sometime soon. Because earlier this year, when was it? Was it St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah, St. Patty's.
Properly got introduced to New York City with the boys. You came, we had a great time in the city. We drank a whole lot. You not as much as we did, but we drank a whole lot because you're a responsible man, as you should be. And it ended up being a phenomenal time, and we look forward to having you back here. One day we will get the full group here in studio.
I had my first Irish car bomb. Never again.
Bro, they didn't even properly do it. They didn't properly do it. They didn't put the
Well,
stuff
they
that's
ruined
supposed
it.
to be
I'll
in.
never do it. I'll never try it again.
Yeah, I almost threw up too. That was bad. But anyways, like I said before, this is the nicest we will ever be to each other. That is just, at least on camera. We're good friends off the camera. But on camera, that's the nicest we'll ever be. And that is because we get this thing started spicy. As spicy as you could ever ask for. We're going to give you our hot takes for the 2025-2026 NBA season. So, Chris, Why don't you get us started? What's your first hot take of the year?
My first hot take. If you guys have been watching for a while, you guys probably saw this coming. I'm sure you saw this coming. The Detroit Pistons are going to be a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. I was about to say in the AFC. I was about to say in the AFC.
Too much football talk.
But in the Eastern Conference, CADE Cunningham is going to be top 3 in MVP voting, and the Detroit Pistons are going to make the Eastern Conference Finals on the back of CADE Cunningham.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's
Wow.
the take.
Wow.
I
That's
think,
very bold, bro.
I think
That's very
CADE
bold.
has all the makings of a superstar in this league. He showed he could be a true lead guard and handle all the responsibilities, coming off a year where he averaged 26 and 9, and he's just so nonchalant when he's out there. It just looks like the game comes so effortless to him. He could score at all 3 levels. I mean, his 3-point shooting took a massive, not really a massive jump, but actually, I mean, no, not really a massive jump, but he was shooting at like 35%, which is really good for a guy who's shooting majority of his 3-point looks off the dribble. You know, he's not shooting catch and shoots. He's playing in the pick and roll and creating looks for himself. True floor general, one of the 10 best passers we have in this association, can do it on both sides of the ball as well. You know, with his size, he could guard 3 positions. So I think CADE Cunningham has the true makings of a superstar. I think we saw in the playoffs in the first round against your Knicks that this Detroit team is tough. They're gritty. They'll grind you out. And getting Jaden Ivey back, I think, is a huge boost. They have a ton of role players who I think could do good things. And, yeah.
Top 3 is crazy. Top 3.
East is wide open, bro.
Top three is
Yeah,
wild.
I'm not
East
gonna
is wide
lie.
open, bro.
After the top
don't
2
agree.
in the East, I think 3 through 5, you can shuffle that deck. Detroit, Orlando, Atlanta. So they're going to be the 3 through 5, in my opinion. I don't think it's that hot, if I'm being honest with you. The other parts of it, though, conference finals, I don't know if the first round to third round jump is a little much for me, but
I think
like
it depends on. I think it depends on who they match up with.
playoffs matchups, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the playoffs are always going to be about. You know what I mean? Some guys say basketball is about a bucket. We say playoffs are about a matchup. But
Yeah.
I think
I
this team
agree.
they're pretty deep. You know, I don't love them losing D. Schroed because I thought he was pretty awesome for them off the bench last year, especially in the playoffs. But
A Christian favorite.
I like Marcus Sasser, you know, coming out of college, out of Houston. I think he could take a big jump in that backup guard role. I love them adding Duncan Robinson. I mean, he's there to do one thing, and I think he's one of the best in the league at doing that one thing.
Taking the exact same shots Tim Hardaway Jr. shot.
Right, and probably making more of them. Especially playing alongside a playmaker like CADE. Like, granted, you know, Bam Adebayo is a good playmaker, but CADE Cunningham's a whole new level. He's going to see the most open shots he's ever seen in his life. So, yeah. And, I mean, their big man rotation is deep. You have Darren, you have Stewart. You even have B-Ball Paul if you need him. You have these young wings in Asar and Ron Holland who are going to get out and run and be menaces in transition. So, I think they're a complete team. It's really – I think CADE's going to do his thing. The Pistons' success, to me, is relying on how Jaden Ivey gets back. He was playing great before he got hurt, but, you know, having a season-ending injury, it's tough to – I'm sure he'll come out and start a little slow probably, but if he could, you know, do what he was doing last year and then take that up a notch, why not?
One thing I want to add on that is the Malik Beasley factor, though. He was one of the best 3-point shooters in the league last year, and he's not on a team right now. Because of his whole situation, but that might be a bit of a loss. I know they got Duncan Robinson, but they also did lose Tim Hardaway Jr. to Denver. So that's another. Those were their 2 guys last year on the wing off of CADE's playmaking. But I like it, man. Again, the East is so wide open. They play defense. They're hard-nosed. They did deal with injuries last year and still did what they did. And I got all my stock in the other Thompson twin as well, who's a little behind on men now because of the injury last year. So there's a lot there with Detroit.
Yeah, I would agree, but I'm just not. I'm not so they lack a lot in terms of like wing talent. Like Ron Holland's good. He's gritty. He'll dive on the floor and make a few plays.
He likes
Asar is
fighting.
obviously Asar. But I don't. In this league, you got to make shots. You can only get but so many stops, and I don't trust Asar. Well, Asar is probably going to be on the floor, but outside of Cade, Jalen Duren is not a threat shooting the ball. It's not a lot of shot making on this team outside of Cade.
Tobias
honestly.
Harris.
I forgot about my boy.
So ultimately, like Sleazy was saying, it really is going to come down to Jaden Ivey, how much of a jump he makes, like in terms of being a number 2 option. Detroit is one of those teams where when you have a team that relies a lot on their heliocentric star player, you really need your specialists up and down the roster to really play their best, because like your one player is going to do a lot for you, but the things he's not doing, he's not going to be able to do at all. His energy is not being spent there. So as far as like 3-point shots, like Cade was really good in the mid-range last year, really effective getting to the rim. You want him to keep on doing that. Those driving kick opportunities were always there for him. And you had Malik Beasley like at the receiving end. Now you lose the guy who was second in the league in 3-pointers made last year, and you replace him with Duncan Robinson, but then you also lose Hardaway Jr. as well. So that's a lot of like 3-point shooting that you lose. And now you're reliant on Duncan replacing Malik Beasley's production, which is unlikely. And you're relying on Tobias Harris and Ivy to make up not only like what they were expected to do in terms of like just putting points on the board, but also like increase their 3-point volume, because now they're the expected 3-point makers. And that's just not realistic, because that takes them away from what they do best, which is being able to get into the in-between game. They're rhythm scorers, both of them. So expecting them to come out there and shoot like upwards of 38% on like 5 to 6 threes a game, I can't see it. It's possible, but I can't see it. So
yeah, it's not that crazy, because like the East is definitely wide open, so they could literally finish a top 3 seed, and I low-key wouldn't bat an eye. But
brother, who else is good in the East?
It would take a lot to make a conference.
Who else is good in the East?
I'm just not convinced by the fit. So my hot take, right? Like to follow up, my hot take is that Orlando and or Atlanta are going to make a really, really big jump this year, and they're going to make one of those top 2 teams really scared, in the sense that like one of those top 2 teams are going to not be that good.
I'm not allowing this.
Yeah, I was about to veto that one too.
You got to pick one, brother.
Pick one of the two. You don't get
fair enough.
Yeah, you're
I don't think you should pick either one, if I'm being honest.
then I'm gonna say Orlando. Then Orlando is the team that's gonna make those teams scared, because you saw a lot of flaws on the Knicks and on Cleveland last year, flaws that Orlando can come in there and exploit. So the biggest issue with Cleveland last year was what's always been their problem, which is lack of perimeter depth, lack of size in their backcourt defensively. And when you're not maximizing their offensive production, those defensive flaws that are already there based on who you have on your roster become exacerbated. And you saw just how much their chances just dwindled the minute Mobley got banged up, the minute DeAndre Hunter got banged up and was starting to be in foul trouble, the minute Strus was kind of not really hitting his shots anymore. And those games they were getting out of Dean Wade in the regular season, come postseason, they just weren't there.
Ty Jerome.
And Ty Jerome as well. Come postseason, they just weren't there.
He's gone now.
And they lost straight up. And they brought back basically the same team. I like the Lonzo Ball addition for them, but I'm still not scared. It's still a lot dependent on Mobley taking yet another jump as an offensive player, which you shouldn't need if you're spending however much money Don is getting, whether that's 40-something mil, and however much Garland is getting, which is 20 to 30. You're spending that much money on two guys that are really just going to do offense. You shouldn't need Mobley to take yet another jump as an offensive player with two guys that are just being paid to do that. What he did last year, he should just be able to repeat that and be good. Same thing for the Knicks. Their postseason exit to the Pacers can be reduced to three things. The first thing is poor passing in the fast break. A lot of those turnovers that Indiana forced are a result of them just really not knowing what to do unless Brunson had the ball. The second thing it could be reduced to is not really having a secondary creator. So even when you get the ball across half court, who can start up the set? Who can start the offense? It has to be Brunson every single time. You got by with Michael in the regular season. Come postseason, that's not enough, right? Michael was not a three-point shooter. You were relying on his mid-range. Indiana took those looks away. So now the one thing Michael is doing, not there anymore. And then you get exploited by Cat just being a defensive liability and Mitch being an offensive liability. So now, like, you don't have size and your small lineup isn't that good to be able to run with Indy. So you just get kicked, like, straight up. Like, they added depth, which I like. And I do think, in spite of all that, the Knicks are the team to beat.
Hell yeah.
But I still think they are the team to beat in the East with Boston being out.
Even with Boston,
like,
we put belt to ass.
No.
You can tell them. You can let them know we put belt
Boston
to
being
ass.
out of what?
Boston is out. Boston is out.
They're
Out of what?
They're out.
Out.
They might not
Out.
make the playoffs.
Oh,
As-
Sleazy, you're
exactly.
missing the
Lucky to make the
playoffs.
play-in.
Yeah.
Are we
Lucky to make
serious?
the play-in. Lucky to make the play-in, bro. Lucky to make the play-in.
In the East? Are we dead
Jaylen
ass?
Brown. Last I checked, Jaylen Brown still has.
No, bro.
He doesn't
we
have
not
one of these.
doing
This is my left
bro.
hand.
We
That's
not-
center rotation.
No.
He still doesn't have one, right? Second thing, right? You getting hype off some Afrene Simons preseason games, like, bro, like, relax. You're not Dame. You can shoot, right? You solid, but you're not Dame. So, like, let's just put that to bed right now. Peyton Pritchard last year, put that to bed right now, right? All that, like, I don't want to hear none of
Lucky
that.
to make the
right?
playoffs is crazy.
Lucky to make the playoffs. Like, everything
That's
that you guys do,
insane.
everything that Boston does good, right, is now working. It's from last playoffs has been used against them. Your 3-point volume and how you choose your shots, rejecting any mid-range or any shot creation look for just for just forcing threes. That's how the Knicks got rid of y'all. Y'all were gonna lose the series whether Tatum got hurt or not.
That
So
They
is
took
true.
advantage of you and they gave you the belt. That's just the reality.
We did. We
And
took advantage of you.
without-
Neither here nor there, but
without having any semblance, like, you don't have Tatum anymore. So what did you just lose? You lost the points, you lost the 3-point shooting, you lost the best defender on your roster, and you lost his underrated
All right.
rebounding. This is a guy who averages 7 and can go out there and get 10 to 15 as a forward.
I mean,
And
they'll
he was
make the
arguably
play.
your best passer.
They will
And
make
Drew
the
was
play.
pretty bad. Drew is now gone. You replaced a passer
forward.
who was washed in Drew with a non-passer in Simons, right? Like, Simons was playing bad
well,
basketball.
considering
in-
that's why we brought him here, we're
to
not
play-
looking for him to pass the ball.
Well, you bought him to shoot, but I'm telling you, his offensive contributions is not enough. Not enough for you to be anywhere. Tatum is not going to be back. I don't care.
So
what
they're not
Achilles-
making the
magic
play-in?
Achilles, he's got voodoo magic to be able to play.
Wait,
He's not playing this year.
so they're not making the
and
play
you're
in.
not winning without him playing. He's not making. They're not
He's
making the
locked
play.
in. Oh my
They're
god.
not making the play.
I don't
So
know,
the
The
bro.
Raptors are better.
That's
The
a hot
Raptors-
take.
I
The
don't
Raptors
know.
are better than the Celtics.
Who is the Celtics starting center right now? Is it Cada?
Neemias Quato.
probably
Neemias
Neemias
Quato.
Oh, God.
That's an issue.
Or Chris.
The Celtics were a second round
Chris
team.
Boucher. Chris Boucher.
They lost 4 guys this summer. Tatum, like, they effectively lost Tatum for the year. I know we're gonna do the whole thing all year when he's coming back. I don't know if you do that if he's ready to play in April. I'm not sure you do that anyway. Drew, Kristaps, I understand the whole questions with the illness and all that, but you can't lose and then you lost him to San Antonio. I'm drawing a blank right now.
Oh,
yeah.
Cornette. Yeah.
So, like, I love Cornette. I know he's not like
And
but
Uncle
he had-
Al.
He's really good.
Oh my God, and
Yeah,
Al
yeah,
Horford.
Al Horford.
So, like, that's 5 guys that a team is losing. It's a lot. I think if you're a Celtics fan, you should just accept this as a gap year. I don't rush Tatum back. Simons, I think, is going to be playing for his next. I'm not sure Simons is going to be a long stay here in Boston.
I don't either.
Yeah, he's a guy that they flip. He gained some value this year, hit some shots, whatever. I like Simons. He's a great scorer, and that's about it. But I'm not sure if I'm Boston, I'm even trying to win this year. I'll be
shouldn't.
honest with you.
I hate it. I hate
You
it.
shouldn't be trying to win.
I hate
I'm
it.
being honest with you. Like,
I hate it.
you're better off. You made these trades. Why? You made these moves to clear your cap space because you were about to be a second apron team with
Oh,
your
they
best
were.
player.
They were.
We had to.
Yeah,
We literally
they
had
were.
to.
You
Yeah.
had to. You had
So
no choice. You had to pay all those
you
guys.
had to cut money. You had to cut money, right? Now, you cut your money. You're in a better financial position. Why are you trying to win right now? Like look at like I understand it looks wide open, and you might think you have a really good shot, but this again, it
they
all
have
comes
no
down to like,
shot.
the individual player.
No
You
shot.
have
They have
no
no
shot.
shot.
I'm looking, and it's outside of Cleveland, New York, maybe Milwaukee, however you feel about them, maybe Orlando, Detroit, how you feel about them. It's wide.
Five
Bro, you just
teams.
listed
You
6
said
teams.
outside of 6 teams. What do you mean?
Bro,
No,
easy.
they're
to
saying
make
we
the
can't make a
play-in.
playoff. Or
No,
even
I
a
agree.
play-in.
I
Easy.
agree. I think you guys
You're-
get into the play-in, but
Listen, I think
You trying to say we're
think-
gonna be Chicago Bulls bad? Are you dead ass?
Yeah, I think if you're not, you should want to be, to at least like have
Nobody
the time
wants to be
retool.
bad.
Do you have your pick? You have your
That's
pick?
what I just said.
I don't
Yeah,
know off the
they
top of
own
my
their
head if
pick. They own their
If they
pick.
own their
That's
pick,
the
then why-
key.
yeah, why
That's
you
the
trying to
whole
be
thing
good?
for me. That's the
That's
entire
stupid.
Celtic season.
Why would you want to be good?
If I'm Boston, I'm trying to get into that lottery, man. Let me tell you right now. That's what
oh
I'm
my
trying
God,
to do. Look
they're
at what
definitely
happened with
getting
Dallas. just
AJ,
now.
bro.
You look at what happened with Dallas. Like, could you imagine?
Well,
I'm
that's
sorry,
not
That
gonna
was a
happen.
less than 2% chance.
I understand,
not
but I'm
gonna
saying.
Yeah, but the
that's all
NBA
you're
loves
saying.
the Celtics, bro.
It happened.
If
It
you guys are in the
happened, but
lottery, you
happened.
guys are getting a top 3 pick.
the odds
Adam
that it
Silver
happened-
already-
You know how this
Bro,
stuff
this
works
shit
with
is
the big
rigged.
market.
Yeah,
Can we get this out the way? This shit is rigged.
Adam Silver already decided. If you guys are in the
That
lottery, you
was-
guys got a top 3 pick. Congrats.
Okay, we're probably gonna be bad, yes, but not
All right.
making the playoffs bad is blasphemy.
Yeah, not
But
making
you
the
got to
playoffs.
make the playoffs in a gap year where you could get a high pick.
I want us to be as good as we possibly can be every single year.
I understand that kind of fandom. You just won a title 2 years ago with a certain core. It's going to be a different core going forward. I just take my losses now and I go for it next year.
Damn near there. JT, JB, and D White.
Nah, but the thing is, bro, JT just tore his Achilles.
You
Like that's
had a
not a
five-
that's
You
no
don't- you
joke.
don't-
Now,
Like,
granted,
Your core.
I don't know.
was a five
This is
stack.
all based
You
off
didn't
of
have
what
a
I
five
think
stack
JT
anymore.
will look like.
Next
I don't know
year.
what he's gonna look like off of this injury.
Next
Nobody
year.
knows. We
What
don't
he's
know.
going to
We
look
don't
like
know.
next year, next season.
It takes
Possibly.
sometimes it takes a year for a guy to even.
I
Like,
pray to
something
God he
of
doesn't
what-
I
rush
don't know
back.
why.
He's not
I
playing
don't know
this year,
why
yeah.
he's rushing. He should take into account what KD did. Like KD stayed out the entire year. He could have came back early, and he still stayed out the entire year as a precaution. Like Kyrie and KD could have both came back. Kyrie injured himself after the first couple games with the Nets. They both could have came back at the end of the season when, like, whoever they had, I think it was like Karras and like Dinwiddie or whatever, were kind of making a push. They both could have came back, and they both elected not to go to the offseason and start fresh the next year. And I think that's exactly what Tatum should do. You go into next year knowing what you have, right? Knowing what your young guys, like, give your young guys minutes. Let guys like Walsh play. Like, see what you have up and down your roster, and then go into next year confident. Because here's the reality. Like, you're so concerned about this year, you have to think about long-term. The Cavs' long-term prospects aren't that good. The Knicks' long-term prospects, with all due respect,
Watch
like,
your mouth.
your window is
You
this
watch your
4 year.
mouth, sir.
Your window is last year, this year, next year, the year after.
Okay,
By the
that's
time that happens, like, your guys are
That's a
paid.
little
You're,
kind.
you're
I think you're being
dropped in
kind.
money. I think that is a little kind. The year after next year is kind of like it's kind. Like,
Honestly, then this is the year.
No,
If we're
yeah,
being
honestly,
honest.
this
stop
does need to
it.
be their year.
Giannis
This
won't
honestly
be
does
here,
need to
bro.
be
Don't worry about that.
You
He don't even want
to.
to. He want to go to Greece. He'd want to go to Greece.
You can't even promise
Come on,
that.
man.
You can't even promise that.
Yeah.
Barring some major turn of fortune, like, and by turn of fortune I mean magically Karl Anthony Towns becomes some crazy defender, right? Or you trade them for somebody better than Brunson. You trade Cat and whoever for somebody better than Brunson. Barring that, with the kind of people that you have signed, the money you got tied up, if it's not this year, next year, maybe the year after, it's not going to happen with this core. And then I would just move everybody except Brunson and start over again.
All right.
Boston is in that
Wait,
position
hold up.
right now.
Hold up.
Do it now.
I'm going to reel us back in a little bit here. We're going to save the Knicks talk. Before we move on, since you made the claim about the
Fuck the
Celtics,
Knicks.
where does everyone stand? Are the Celtics a play-in team? The Shields, we know your answer is no. Oh, Sweezy, we know your answer is hell yeah. I'm on the side of yes, the Celtics are a play-in team. Matt?
Definitely a playing team.
Christian?
Yeah, they're a playing team. Although, if I was them, I'm not trying to win anything. What does a play-in do for Boston? Boston
agree.
plays for titles. I'm trying to count my losses, and I'm going into next year, and hopefully I can get a high pick.
All right. Christian, what's your first hot take for this season?
So you went with Detroit making a deep run. He went with Orlando making a deep run. I'm gonna go to the other conference and forget about deep run. I'm just gonna say it. Lakers win the title is my hot take.
I fucking knew it was coming.
Now again, I want to be clear. I'm not a Lakers fan. I'm a LeBron fan, and LeBron's on the Lakers. Therefore, they have my allegiance. Listen, this is the scenario where everything goes right for LA. Their season is going to come down to three things: swing factors, defense, and the ultimate trade that we're waiting for a couple of years now. The swing factors: the Lakers bring in DeAndre Ayton this summer. He's a guy that has been counted out now because of all of his stops, what happened at the end of Phoenix, what's happened in Portland. Can he get back to that level that we saw him in the 21 finals get to? He was the anchor of a defense for a Suns team that won 64 games. Okay, these are big ifs, but I'm looking at Ayton. I'm looking at Smart. You know about Smart as a Celtics fan. Do we have a little bit of that depoy juice left in him? Okay, can we get back to that? He's played 50-something games in the last 2 years, but he was playing on teams that weren't really playing for anything.
Yep.
Memphis was an absolute mess, and Washington, that's documented. Can we get that? The Lakers need guys that can defend. That is their Achilles heel. I think if they get to a top 13 to 15 defense this year, that's their ceiling just because of their personnel. And Luka, skinny Luka, MVP Luka, maybe we'll get to that. We know what his ceiling is. We saw him bring a team to the conference finals, to a finals. And if the Lakers can be healthy, those are the swing factors for them. I talked about the defense. It's a real issue. The Lakers lack two-way mobile wings. Okay, they do not have that. I think they'll have a top 3 offense in the sport. They have the best 3-headed offensive monster, I think, in the league.
Yes.
But we saw what happened last year in the playoffs that wasn't enough. Now, granted, the Luka sickness, LeBron got banged up, all that stuff. Reeves was also playing hurt. But if they are healthy, a top 3 offense, we've seen the history of the league, top 3 offense paired with the top 12, 13 defense can make a run. And they can make a serious run. And Luka has never played with a guy as good as LeBron. We know that. Now, 41-year-old LeBron remains to be seen. We understand what he's dealing with right now with the sciatica. Lastly, the trade. Andrew Wiggins has been a name that everyone's talking about. I don't know if that's exactly the guy, but a player like that, the Lakers need a Rui upgrade. That's the best kept secret in the world. Like, they need an upgrade from Rui. I love Rui. He's a good player, but he's redundant with LeBron. The Lakers have a problem. You are who you guard in the NBA. Him and LeBron play the same position, and they guard the same position. And Luka plays point guard, but he guards forwards. He guards the corner man, okay? So the Lakers need a guy that's going to take that point of attack assignment every night. Can Smart be that guy? I've been a proponent of Smart starting in the Rui position when the Lakers are healthy.
Facts.
Okay, because you put 5 guys that are offensive guys out there, that's not doing it for me. And the Reeves-Luka concerns are already real. So who the hell is guarding the best player on the other team, the best perimeter guy every night? That's why Smart for now I think would be the answer. But the Lakers need a better guy than Smart to do that. And Andrew Wiggins guy has been a guy that everyone's talked about. So it comes down to this. Matchups are everything in the playoffs. If the Lakers can avoid a Denver and an OKC, obviously until that conference finals, that's ideal. And the Minnesota matchup, because of the physicality, and the Lakers didn't have a center last year. Let's remind everyone, Jackson Hayes is not DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton on his worst day is way better than Hayes on his best day. Okay? So I'm not a Hayes guy at all. I'm so out on him. I can't even brought him back.
Sucks.
The Lakers have a path. It is slim. But if you can tell me I'm going to get a version of Luka, we know Luka has best in the world ceiling. Like, let's be real here. He has best in the world ceiling. I think he's a top 3 guy out of bed. And now he's skinny and all this stuff, whatever. Austin Reeves, if he was an East, he's an all-star. Let's just say that. I know that Reeves is very polarized when it comes to Lakers fans even. But Reeves is that dude. They have a path. It is a small window. But if LeBron can get back to his all-NBA self that we expect him to, with Luka, with Reeves, and these swing factors hit, I like what JJ has done. Again, the bar with Ham was so low. JJ stepped in as a first-year head coach. He never coached anything outside of a third grade, his son's team, and they won 50 games last year. They won 50 games in the tough Western Conference. That is better. And I do think the Houston thing matters too. Van Vliet being out, it opens a window for another team to kind of get into that top 2, because I think the West will be decided by the Thunder and the Nuggets, obviously. But the Lakers do have a shot to win the title.
So I do want to reply to that, right? As a big LeBron fan myself, I always try to be, I'm always optimistic to an extent when it comes to LeBron teams. However, I do have to be practical, especially over the past couple of years when it comes to LeBron and discussing him. LeBron is an ageless player in a sense because you've never seen a player at his age perform like this, but he is aging. And I think people don't really realize that because they see the flashy play, they see the high IQ, but people don't realize that right now LeBron is he's superior because of his IQ and how much he just understands the game. It's not really a physical dominance. And in order for the Lakers to like really do what you're suggesting, you'd need a more physically dominant version of LeBron that I just think if you want him to last the season and like last for a deep playoff run, you can't really get that out of him anymore. He has to pace himself. He has to play a certain way. A lot of those rim attacking things that he used to do when he was younger, crashing, like rebounding, locking up, then running full all the way down to the other end of the court, get a stop, do this. He's not doing that every single time. You're seeing that in spurts across a number of games. And the problem with the Lakers is that no matter what you think about their offense, there's obvious defensive flaws. And I feel like fit is very, very important. The reason why they have Jackson Hayes is because he's a fast, willing runner who's a lob threat and an attack the rim threat. So you can have guys like Luka and LeBron who like to pace themselves and play with pace up the court, throw it ahead to him on offense, and then he's a willing run down and jump and be athletic on defense. You need that from your stars, but you aren't going to get that. That's how Luka plays. That's evident in LeBron's age, and that's not Reeves. And in order for you to really have a complete roster, your three best players can't be like A+ to A-, B+, depending on where you view Reeves on offense. And then the highest is like a C+, B- LeBron on defense. Like let's be realistic. Over the course of a season, you're going to see B-, B defense at best from LeBron. And like it's not a recipe to win. It's not a recipe to win in today's NBA. Big threes don't work anymore. It's teams. It's cores.
Well, again, I wouldn't say big three in the sense, because when we talk about big three, we're talking about big three salaries. That's why I think Reeves being on that $15 million bargain right now for the Lakers, that's also why I go for it. Because he's going to opt out this summer, and you're going to have a guy that either you're going to re-up with and give him all this money, and he'll be getting that big three salary, or that's also why I think we've waited for so long. And again, to respond back to what you just said, that's what Luke is here for. We wanted AD to take the keys for years, and he kept dropping them. Okay, the car was not starting. Okay, that's all he did. So LeBron, in the middle of the night, got a guy for the first time in his career. He's playing on a team where he's not the best player. Okay, and it took this long. LeBron is entering year 23, the most unprecedented season we've never seen it. And so Luka can take care of those 82 games. I think people are forgetting, like, because what happened end of last year, like Luka is that dude. And yeah, other the defensive concerns, sure, but we've seen Luka, and I know Chris knows this, be actually a cog on a top defense in the league. He's done that. Like, he's capable of that. Oh. And so, and actually last year, the Lakers, there was a stretch post AD injury, and then went right to the end of the year where they were the best defense in the league. And granted, DFS had a lot to do with that. We lost him. The Lakers turned DFS, basically his salary, into Ayton, LaVeria, and Smart. So, like, I would have done that too, to be fair, because you filled the holes that you need to be filled that were very huge. But when it comes down to this, the thing on LeBron, we already know he can't give us. You don't want LeBron giving you 100% through 82. If he can give me 65%, Luka, I think the Lakers will be a 50-win team. They won 50 teams last year, and they had 4 different iterations of the team. Okay, LeBron held down the ship post AD injury and then post Luka. Like, that stretch, the Lakers, he held them afloat. So the defensive concerns are real. I'm not, your whole argument about LeBron, I'm not that worried about LeBron until I have reason to believe I have to worry. Because we've been doing this thing since 2015. Oh my God, it's over for LeBron. We're 10 years removed from that. Like, well, I need to see it first.
I wouldn't say, I'm not saying necessarily that it's over for him. I'm just saying necessarily, you look at the past couple of years, like, there's more missed games. There are times when you're watching the game.
LeBron's played 70+ games back to back.
No, I'm not talking. But then in 2022, 21, 22, what happened then?
You know? And on one leg, he led that team to a conference finals.
No, you're right. I know what he's capable of, but I'm just saying, like, even 2-3 years ago, like, we can't assume that the LeBron you get in 2025, 26 is capable of the same things that LeBron was in 22, 23, even though that was just a couple years ago. Like,
yeah, but I don't think he needs to be anymore. Is what
that's my point.
That's my
point.
No, but
I understand what you're saying, but like, I still like. My point is, if anything, I would have understood that if you got a guy who can compensate for LeBron's defensive load. You're now expecting LeBron to take on more of a defensive load because you have a guy who's going to take on an offensive load.
But we saw him do it last year.
You saw him do that.
He obviously
wasn't
an all defensive player. He's fucking 40 years old. But I mean, in
the playoffs, he was.
In many spurts, like 10 games at a time. The topic of Twitter was, holy shit, look at LeBron's defense for these 10. Like, he's more than capable of it. You know what I mean? Even at age 40, he's a 1% athlete in this National Basketball Association.
Exactly right.
You're 100% right. And I'm not trying to be down on LeBron. I'm just saying, like, it's unrealistic when you look at like how these other teams have set up their core. The Lakers roster is still going to come down to 7-man rotation as currently constructed, where at best,
pretty good 7-man.
At best, it's a decent 7-man, but it's nowhere near the Thunder 7-man, the Rockets 7-man, even with Fred gone, the Nuggets 7-man, the Wolves 7-man.
Yeah, but like, what trumps that is the top two.
Consider.
What could trump that is the top two. And I agree, though, the biggest problem and the reason that I think they have, as currently constructed, and I know it's crazy to say, no shot at winning the NBA championship.
No, I agree with that, but that's why I laid out those are the three things that would have to happen.
Yes.
Like, again, they have to happen. This is if everyone's healthy. Obviously, health is always a given, but that needs to be said. But the smart thing hits. The Ayton thing, Ayton plays out. And Ayton, again, like I said, he's playing for his NBA future. If this doesn't work in LA next to Luka, who's going to spoon feed him to 17 and 10, right? If that doesn't work, he's going to be a minimum guy. Like that's realistic for him. So he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. Smart. A guy like, again, I think Laravia is an underrated pickup. I know he's not maybe like a household name, but like, you know, he might slot into that DFS kind of slot. And I know, again, he's not DFS. I'd love to have. By the way, if the Lakers had this team right now and DFS, I'd be so much higher on him. That's why this is a hot take. That's why this is a hot take and not just my prediction. You understand? But I really think it's not impossible. Yes, it is improbable. If that's what I'm getting at.
You get Wiggins, I'll be with you.
I watched
Wiggins. You're gonna hate me if they get Wiggins.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched Luka take a team with his second best player, Spencer Dinwiddie, to the conference finals. I mean, me and you, Christian, the night it happened, we sat on the phone for 5 hours maybe talking about it. Just get a center, and they have a chance. And we thought it was going to be Mark Williams. That fell through. Listen, DeAndre Ayton. It's fun to hate on DeAndre Ayton. I personally enjoyed hating on DeAndre Ayton. Not now, though, because now he's playing with my boy Luka. Now I love DeAndre Ayton. But, like you say,
that's the thing.
Your key points that have the swing factors, I think it's a lock. I think DeAndre Ayton's going to play good ball. How do you not play good ball with Luka Doncic? How do you not? Marcus Smart.
If Luka can make Jackson Hayes look good, then
Marcus Smart was playing in Washington and then in Memphis with an injured Memphis team for all that time. Marcus Smart gets to play with fucking Luka and LeBron. You don't think Marcus Smart's going to be a contributor on this team? Hell yeah, he is. His job is to play defense and shoot the ball.
I hate it.
Hell yeah, Marcus. He's not going to be Depoy. Will he contribute at a high level? Fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah. And does Rob Pelinka potentially have one more move up his sleeve? Honestly, I think so. If it's Wiggins, that's the ideal one. It's the NBA. Shit happens. Crazy things happen. I think Rob Pelinka has a move up his sleeve, and it's motherfucking Luka Doncic. It's Luka Doncic. Like you said, he rolls out of bed, and he's a top 3 player in the league. When he really wants it, he is the best player in the world. For any stretch of games, he can be the best player in the world. It doesn't matter who's on the other side. He can easily take this team on a run. And like you said, carry them through the regular season. Even with a lackluster defense, even with a lackluster rotation, he could carry this team to a top 4 seed in the Western Conference. Not a lot of teams in the West
that want to see the Lakers, man.
No one wants to see Luka.
Last thing on this, I think, and no one's really like I don't think this is being talked about enough. There's a real chance that a 41-year-old LeBron is the best player Luka ever plays with in his career. Like, that's a real thing. LeBron right now, healthy, he's the top 7 player in the sport. It's impossibly great. We have never seen this, okay? So tell me that guy that Luka's going to play with. Now, I know Giannis is the hot topic. We'll see what happens with that. I don't know how the Lakers pull a rabbit out of a hat, but they got Luka, so anything's possible. But outside of that, what are the odds that Luka gets to be paired with a guy as good as LeBron ever left in his career? So, like, I'm the Lakers. I'm going for it this year. I know who OKC is. Trust me. I know I'm really high on Denver. I think Denver, I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm really high on them. But the Lakers are right there, and they're one move away. They've been one move away, it feels like, for a couple of years, and that's what's really gotten me. So if you can land a Wiggins, and it just makes more positional, it makes sense more positionally as a guy who can guard the best player on the team. We know who Luka is. Reeves can give you, I think Reeves is going to take another leap this year. I know that people are low on him because of what happened, but I think because of what the Lakers did in first round last year, people are very low on them, forgetting that there was a lot of context involved at play there. So that's my hot take. Lakers win the title.
All right.
Oh, Sleazy, you're next up.
I'm not disagreeing with your take, buddy, but it's tough.
That's why it's a hot take. That's why it's a hot take.
Oh, Sleazy, all you, buddy.
All right, well, my hot take, really straight to the point. I think the Spurs make the conference finals this year.
What the?
If I think Wemby takes the leap high, I think he's going to take the leap. Obviously, I think they could do it. Wemby only played, I want to say, like 47, 48 games last year. If he gets anywhere to 60, 70, obviously he'll make. They'll make a top 5, top 6-ish seed maybe. And to be honest, they had a pretty good offseason, in my opinion, adding Luke Cornett, who can play at the same time or back up Wemby minutes, honestly. I think they also brought in Kelly Olynyk, if I'm not ashamed, who's also he's a ball player. He's gonna give you what he gives you. I think
they're gonna run Wemby at the 3, bro.
Imagine, like, they could low-key run some crazy lineups with Wemby, Luke Cornett, Kelly Olynyk. Obviously, they won't, but, like, in my head, they probably could.
On 2K.
I think this team has a lot of the makings of a conference finals team that you would think. Like, I think their guard room isn't the best, but it's very good with Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox, and now adding Dylan Harper, who I'm very high on. I think that kid, as soon as he hits the ground running, I think he makes an immediate impact. Also, they drafted Carter Bryant, who I think when he was coming out of college, he had a lot of OG Anunoby and like Trey Murphy NBA comps. I compared him more to Harrison Barnes, who is ironically his teammate now, and I think
Black Falcon.
Yeah, exactly. I think he can make an immediate impact without even having the ball in his hands. I think he's going to play a lot of minutes off the bench with probably, again, Luke, probably Dylan if De'Aaron Fox hopefully doesn't get hurt, and probably Keldon Johnson, Julian Champagnie. Like, this team is really good, but it's kind of how we were talking about the Lakers. It's a lot on the back of Wemby, and I think he can do it.
There's no shot.
I think he can do it.
There's no shot. They're deep. I like their team. I love what they're building. It's just not in this Western Conference. Not with no playoff experience. They're not going to a
They can match up
conference
with a lot of people, and I think I would take the Spurs in certain matchups over a lot of people.
The only shortcoming they have on their roster is the shooting. Like, at the guard position specifically, like, we lost to Shields. Oh, no. But, anyways, the only problem is the fact that they don't have much guard shooting. Like, that's my thing. I think Fox is a better catch-and-shoot guy than people give him credit for, and he will get more opportunities this season. But I'm very concerned with Harper's shooting. I'm very concerned with Castle's shooting. Vassell is a great shooter, but I think he should start, in my personal opinion.
I think what they lacking in guard shooting, I think they make up for it in a lot of other positions. Outside of Jeremy Sohan, I don't think he can really hit the backside of the barn. But outside of that, bro, I think what they lack, and like De'Aaron Fox is a capable shooter. Obviously, he's not Steph Curry.
I'm not worried about him shooting.
Stephon Castle is he's a capable shooter. I think he's gonna get better. Obviously,
would hope so.
He wasn't
He
that
will.
good, but the more he plays, the more reps he gets, he's gonna obviously get better. He's the least of my worries in terms of even shooting the ball. I think the kid is a stud everywhere else. And Dylan Harper, again, once he hits the ground running, if they make room for him and Carter Bryant, not saying that they're going to be the reason they make the conference finals, obviously, but these kids can make an immediate impact and make everybody else's job easier.
I agree with the points. You know how I feel about Carter Bryant. You know how I feel about Dylan Harper. Like,
Absolutely.
they absolutely nailed the draft. Those guys are plug-and-play player, especially Carter Bryant, obviously, just being a 3-and-D wing, can be the best point-of-attack defender on the team. But even Dylan Harper, like, his game, he could easily play on the ball. He could play off the ball, more than capable as a defender with his size. Like, I agree those guys are plug-and-play. I agree the moves they made in free agency are great. I agree Wemby could be a top 5 player in the league this year. It's just not – they're not making the conference finals. No shot.
I think they could beat everybody except for Denver.
I think outside of OKC,
Yes, Christian. Yes.
Denver,
No, no.
Everybody outside of Denver, they can't beat OKC.
maybe LA,
They could beat
maybe
OKC.
LA, maybe Golden
I
State.
think OKC would
Those are the
sweep
only
them.
4 teams I'm really.
First of all,
turning
remember
my head
where
on.
are they going to be in the standings? Hold on, like so. I mean,
I think they could
let
finish
them-
top 6,
I think they could finish top 4.
All right, so if they sneak it, no, that's I
4
don't,
to
I don't
6,
see that.
maybe. Yeah,
There's
4
too
to
much
6.
youth there for me. There's just too much youth. I think I'm high. Listen, Wemby, I think is just. I mean, he could easily get into that top 5 conversation this year. If not, I mean, some lists have him there already. So people are very high on
Some
him.
lists have him above LeBron James.
Correct. It's just we don't normally see a team go from no playoffs to now I'm in the conference finals. Like we never see that. So I think it's a little like it's a hot take. I think it's a little unfair to put those expectations on them because like for them, if they win a round, that's a hell of a year. It's a hell of a year if they win a round with that kind of youth. So I think maybe a year from now we can maybe have those conversations if they can sneak in because of the matchups go their way and the bracket works out. But I just think that's a little too soon for San Antonio.
I don't think so.
I get the pushback though, because again, they are a very young team. Not a lot of playoff experience on that team outside of De'Aaron Fox, maybe
Harrison Barnes.
and NBA champ Luke Cornett. But outside of that, I get it.
Kelly Olynyk.
I mean, like your reason and your points and your logic, like I'm there. I think Christian is there too. Like I agree with everything you're saying. They're just not going to the conference finals. No shot.
I'm with you, O'Sleazy.
No shot.
I think they are.
I think outside of Denver, the only teams who I think that could definitively beat them in a 7-game series: OKC, Denver, maybe LA, Lakers, obviously, and maybe Golden State. Because I
What about
can't
the Clippers?
really count out
What about the Clippers?
What about
any team
What about
being led by James
Minnesota?
Harden? I'm not.
By the way,
What about
I'm playing devil's
Minnesota?
advocate
2
because
straight.
I'm so out on them. But
Nah,
With the Clippers?
yeah.
Oh, I'm
That's a
out on the
separate
Clippers
discussion.
too.
Yeah.
Listen, any team that has Kawhi Leonard and James Harden as their best
Yes,
player,
any
you're
James
not-
Harden led team, I'm out on.
What are we doing with that? Yeah, so like I'm just, but their team, they have they have won. I think what are they, a 5-time champion in the summer? The Clippers are, I think.
Yeah.
So they win that every year. They win the paper championship because their
Every time.
rosters on paper are unbelievable.
And this one
They signed
also.
They signed Bradley Beal.
If you look at, they have the best. I mean, they go 11 deep. The Clippers do. But again,
Absolutely.
you remind yourself who James Harden is come playoff time.
Oh, come
What the
on.
Kawhi Leonard risk, and now with the aspiration allegations, this is
We
contract gonna get
don't
ripped up?
even know
We
if
don't
he's going to
know
even.
He might not
how
even
that
play.
movie ends. Yeah, we don't know how that movie ends. So like the Clippers, you got to be out of your mind. I'm just saying, in a round one, the Clippers could, if they match up in a round one, things like that. The Clippers win a lot of regular season games. They always do
Absolutely.
that. But we know what happens in the playoffs. But I think it's interesting. I just think it's a year too soon for San Antonio.
So I wanted to comment on the whole entire Wemby thing. I'll admit that I'm somebody that was not too quick to give Wemby too many props. I definitely wanted to see certain things from him, one of which he's kind of already shown me. He really hit the weight room. He's showing like a persistent dedication to really becoming more physical and being able to be more durable to deal with the pressure that comes with playing in the NBA and how physical people are going to be, because he always presents a height advantage. He's obviously going to be faced with a lot of people that are going to try to outmuscle him. And so the better he gets at dealing with that and the better he improves his health and strength, is the longer he's going to last and the better he's going to be. But I think it's a little too quick to say that somebody is going to take their team to the conference finals in just their second year. And here's ultimately why. When you have a team that goes to the conference finals or makes a deep playoff run early, it's usually because of a combination of factors. The factors being that you have a young core, which has a lot of chemistry together, their play styles fit together, and you kind of have an idea of how you want things to be long term. When you look at the Celtics, a team that went very far very early, they have guys who automatically clicked. And for the most part, they have a lot of chemistry, despite many people trying to talk in the media saying, oh, this guy doesn't like this guy might leave. And that's two players whose play styles are the same, right? Those are two guys who are like very, very similar, but they made it work because of like the proper veterans in the locker room, instantly having a winning culture from the moment they were drafted, where they were trying to win, and then working together to build to become that team, right? So they went to the conference finals. They followed that with a first-round exit. They went to the conference finals. Then they had the Miami run. Then it was a first-round exit, and then they went to the finals. So you see there's growing pains. I feel like the Spurs need a growing pains kind of year before you can say they'll go to the conference finals. I feel like it's kind of like a rough fit. You have Dylan Harper, who's nice. This is his first year. You have Castle, who's nice. He was literally rookie of the year because Jared McCain got hurt. So I'm not going to listen to the whole, rookie of the year, like it's because the main guy
was the rookie of the year.
Right?
I don't know,
He has
man.
the trophy.
Like, I think
he has
would
the
have won it
trophy.
if Jared McCain would have played anyway.
I think it's possible, but I don't think he would have. I don't think he would have won the rookie of the year if Jared McCain played and if Wemby played the whole season. Because literally that's a product of the main guy that you have to contend with being out and the guy who's going to take 95% of your touches away from you being gone.
I mean, that's
why-
not really fair to Castle.
But why?
though.
I was
That's
about to
his
say, why are we
teammate.
slighting this guy for winning it? Like,
I'm not. No, I'm just saying.
think-
I'm just saying. The thing about Castle, right, is Castle, to me, has always been like a great prospect, but figuring out what his position is and where he's going to fit has always been my issue.
it's
I know he
definitely
played a lot of minutes,
though.
but
No,
like,
hold on. I know he played a lot of minutes at small forward last year. I don't believe long term that's where he should be. I feel like his game is more naturally to be a guard, but with the Fox and Harper presence,
trade him.
that means he's going to be a small forward.
You know, they have a loaded
don't-
backcourt.
Trade
no
him.
question.
There's
Well,
They have
Harper-
a-
Harper, I don't think
so many
Harper
picks.
comes in and takes Castle's minutes.
I think eventually, if you really want Harper to blossom the way he's supposed to, you need him to.
Okay,
You
De'Aaron
need
Fox,
to
you're
put-
gone.
Okay,
No, it's
chill
not.
the fuck
they just
out.
Paid Fox. They just paid Fox.
De'Aaron
And
Fox,
Fox,
you're gone.
Well,
to
that
be
means
honest
they could
with
trade him.
honest
That's all a
with you.
contract means in today's NBA.
To be honest
Yeah,
with you,
well, and
Fox-
the thing is, though, when you have a guy like Victor Wembanyama who just has, in a different way, has Steph Curry level gravity, you just need basketball players around him.
You just
The
need guys who
positions
can
don't
put it
matter. Yeah,
in
you just need
basket.
basketball players, and that's exactly what Stephon Castle is. It's
He's
probably
a really good basketball.
It's probably better off that we don't know what position he is. He's just a basketball player. A guy like Carter Bryant, he's just a basketball player.
Love that
I mean,
kid.
He's a
Carter
basketball
Bryant is
player.
He could go
good, but I do
everywhere.
believe-
Dylan Harper is a basketball
Yeah.
player. That's just what he's just a basketball player. He just hoops. You know what I'm saying? Those are the types of guys that you build around a Victor Wembanyama with. Guys who just
I definitely
play basketball,
agree.
attack closeouts, hit some open shots, create a little bit off the dribble, but you don't even got to create too much. Everything runs through Victor Wembanyama with all the space and attention he demands. These guys, it's a simple job for these guys. It really is. Play a little bit of pick and roll, attack closeouts, make your open shots. It's
Get
a
the ball to
very
Wemby,
simple
get out of the way.
formula. Greg
I definitely
Popovich,
see that.
one of the all-time great coaches, this is the easiest job he'll ever have.
Well,
It's very simple.
well, Pop's
Well,
done.
Technically, it's
Unfortunately,
Mitch Johnson. And not,
He's
and not-
retired.
Yeah, Pop's
Oh, yeah,
retired. Pop
I
called
don't
it.
even. I don't
We
think
know
Pop comes
he's
back,
still gonna.
but-
He's still.
He's in the
gonna-
front
Pop's
office.
still- He's in the front
Yeah.
office.
Yeah, he's
Like,
still
Okay.
there.
All right, Pop's
obviously.
still
And
there.
you got
Pop's
nothing to
still
worry
there.
about
Pop's still there.
with
His ghost
Mitch
will still
Johnson.
be there too
He
when the
is-
time comes.
Jeez.
Anyone that's ever coached under these guys, they
That's his
become
gym.
like.
He's not going
Yes.
anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
but
I mean, I definitely see what you're saying, but I also feel like we've said this same kind of thing about players playing next to Giannis, and we've said the same kind of thing about players playing.
Yeah, but
next
those
to
players
Embiid,
but it's
fucking
very
and we
suck.
found it wasn't.
Those
I was about to
players
say
fucking
every player that
suck.
plays next to Giannis outside of Chris Middleton is doo doo.
But Wemby,
I know,
Wemby could space the
but-
floor
but the
too.
point-
That's the thing.
But the point, I mean, yeah, Wemby is a better shooter than Giannis. I wouldn't say he's a better shooter than Embiid, but like he's like at least when Embiid, the version of
Where
Embiid
does
was
it-
healthy.
Well, and that's
right?
a formula with Embiid,
like-
though. That it's
but I
the
still
same
think-
formula. The problem is Embiid just shrinks. The
Embiid
formula
every
is the
time.
same.
He's a
The-
documented playoff.
He's
drop.
either
Yeah,
he's
but
either
the
not there or he's on the floor and not there.
but the formula is the same thing.
Yeah, but
It's the same-
but that's my thing. Like I just think that like because
Victor
of what we've
Wembanyama
seen
is going to
with Embiid,
shrink.
where you kind of just no. I just think that because of what you've seen with Embiid, where you kind of just have that rationality, you can just throw people out there that can do the little things without having like some sort of rigid structure. Even with a star player who can do a little bit of everything and cover a lot of ground, if you just abandon structure and just be like, yo, I have a guy who can do a little bit of everything, I don't really need to emphasize these other things. Other teams,
But you got
who
guys that could do
emphasize
everything
those
else though. You like you
That's what
do.
I'm saying. I'm
Fox
like,
is
the
still
roster
a great.
is very constructed with guys who can do the other things that Wemby quote unquote isn't gonna do or can't
That
do.
Nah,
fit
I
around his
understand
skill
that.
set and
I
complement his skill
understand that,
set.
but I just think that like
And
most
Wemby's
of the
already
people-
better than Embiid, so this is a terrible conversation anyway.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
That's
Okay,
a
well,
hot take.
Anyone that shows up
Well,
and can
well,
play is better than Embiid.
Anybody that can put a
The best
jersey on is
ability
better
is
than Embiid.
availability, correct?
Well,
right.
what are
So
you doing here?
Okay, availability aside, we're about 2 or 3 years away from saying that like Wemby is
Shit,
better.
What?
Than
I
Embiid.
don't know.
I'm
bro.
saying
2
it
or
now.
3 years away.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
No.
With that, I said
saying
2.
it
I said
now.
2. I said
To be
2.
fair,
Without-
Wemby
with-
hasn't been as available as you'd
Wemby
like
played
to.
46 games last year, and I've seen enough.
but with Wemby, it wasn't the really.
Wemby last season
Injuries.
and Wemby
No, yeah,
this
no.
season
I'm just
still
saying,
not
though.
going to be anywhere near as dominant. Like I'm telling you, we're 2 or 3 years. Like people forget Embiid. You need to go watch that 22. I'm not
I
an
wonder.
Embiid
I
guy.
wonder why people
But
forget.
watch-
Just tell me
He's
you
never
watched
fucking
2022.
playing.
Huh?
He's never
2022, that's
fucking
the
here.
issue.
No wonder
Not even
everybody
22.
forgets.
No one. Not even 22. Go watch 23. Go
Bro,
watch.
but
go watch-
regardless, Victor Wembanyama, bro, I'm sorry. I think this season of Wemby could be as good as the best version of Embiid.
I don't know.
30.
Well,
no.
I mean, Embiid at his
He doesn't have
best
to do
is
anything else
Impact.
to convince me.
Forget
that
about the
he's
other
Joel
side of the
Embiid.
That's what
ball.
I'm saying. That's what I'm
fair.
saying.
I'm not forgetting about
He is
Embiid's
today.
defense
Wemby
is-
Wemby doesn't need
defense,
to do
when he's
anything
on the
else to
court,
convince me he's better
he's
than Joel
elite.
Embiid.
Wembanyama is the best defensive player in the world right now, today, as we stand.
Yes, he is.
The
He would have
single
won the
best
award
defensive
last
player.
year.
Yes,
if
he
didn't
would have
have
won it if
injury
he
and
never
didn't get
got
the games
hurt.
minimum, of course.
And then he's on offense, he could be 75% of Joel. And he's already changed the game on the other side of things. So that's where I'm at.
That's been the AD argument all those years. Everyone forgot, like everyone's so focused on AD's numbers offensively, blah blah blah. But what he was doing defensively is more impactful than some guys' offensive production. But
Way
we don't
more
care about
impactful.
that side of the ball because that part isn't sexy and all of
Still
those
crazy
things.
to me that AD don't got one of those.
You know what
That's
they say
insane to me.
about the game,
To
bro?
be honest
It's
with
about
you,
a
when you
bucket.
when you really look at the years and you look at the people that AD lost to, there's probably only once or twice where like I could argue that the person who won it didn't have a better defensive season. Like to be completely and totally honest with you,
Yeah, he deserves
So
a
it's
depoy.
like-
All right.
That's fair.
he deserved
If you say
one.
one
but
or
there's-
two, then he should have one. You know, like it's
No,
like,
no, he did. But like even then, like the people who won had really good arguments. Like and like
Well,
they weren't.
I also
that's
think
why.
this comes down to because again, these are voting based, right? I think we can look at a guy and just say, all right, that guy's better than that guy or whatever. I don't really like awards. It's like a lot of bias involved in it, a lot of media, a lot of narrative, all those things. I don't know how
Not
we
even,
turn
like,
Wemby
metrics
versus
wise.
Embiid. Yeah, sure, I agree with that. But I think we can all agree on the fact that the Spurs are must-watch TV this year. I really do.
Bingo.
I really do. They're a team. I think they could play spoiler. Like if they do get into a round one, who wants to see Wemby? I mean, like who wants to see that? You know what I mean?
No, Minnesota doesn't.
And people forgot Fox. Like Fox.
Thank you.
Look, remember what Sacramento? People forgot about Fox. I don't know why. I know Sacramento went from like light the beam era to now like I don't know what they became Chicago Bulls of the West somehow. But it's unbelievable how quick they fell off. But like Fox is still that dude. Like
Clutch player of the
he was
year.
giving my Lakers hell. We couldn't beat Sacramento for like 3 years. We couldn't beat that team. So like I'm high on De'Aaron Fox. Obviously Wemby is Wemby. I think they're going to be super fun this year. Super fun.
Yes. And speaking of teams being super fun this year, I'm sure you're going to love this one, Oh Sleazy. I'm sure everyone's going to love this one, actually. We've already said one team that was going to win the NBA Finals in a hot take. Well, here's mine. The New York Knicks will be your 2025-2026 NBA champions. And for a very long time, I've been the biggest Knicks hater as a big Knicks fan. But here I stand today, the happiest I think I possibly could be with this roster. Even with all of the Giannis news, of course, I wish Giannis would come to New York. That'd be amazing. But that doesn't seem to be possible or feasible at this point. But I do think the Knicks made a lot of the changes this offseason that were necessary to be made that held us back in the playoffs last year and kept us just 2 games away from winning the conference finals. Look, the East is wide open, as we've stated on multiple occasions. It should be the Knicks, theoretically. So, if the Knicks are to get to the finals, anything can happen. And I'm taking the Knicks to win the finals. So,
I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
I absolutely hate it.
I think that the Knicks have the most pressure of any team next year to win the title, first of all. This is their best opportunity to win a title since what, 94? I know they made it in 99 as an 8 seed, shortened year, all of that. They had no chance to beat San Antonio.
This is the year.
Like they've never had a they've never started a season where it's like they might be the best team in that conference. So like that in itself.
Absolutely.
And then you look at like, again, they should be favored in every series, right? I know Cleveland's a thing. And again, if you get to the finals, and they have a path of least resistance in the East. So you might play an OKC team that went 6-7 games with these really good teams, right? So if I'm the Knicks, I'm rooting
battling
for
in the
a
West,
bloodbath.
fighting in the West.
I'm rooting for that, and that's really if I'm arguing for the Knicks, it's like, hey, we had to play some 4-game series, 5-game series, especially if we think a team like Boston's getting in, like they might play a team like that in 8 seed, 7 seed, whatever.
Hell yeah,
they're going to have these short series. And you end up in the finals, OKC was beat up, Denver was beat up, all of those things. That's the path. I think they've never had a better opportunity to win the title than they do this year. And now I think the Thibodeau factor, too, you didn't mention it yet. Getting Mike Brown, Thibodeau was this archaic, like, it just was never going to happen with him. Getting a guy that's more modern, okay, like he knows modern defense, modern offense, pace and space. He actually is going to play the bench. The Knicks don't play their bench. They ranked 30th in bench scoring last year, not only because they didn't have a bench, but he didn't play what we did have on the bench. That was a real issue with New York. And they actually got pretty nice bench pieces this summer with Yabusele, with Clarkson, and things like that. So
Brogdon, if he could stay healthy.
And exactly. And so I think, again, in the East, it's just like, the Knicks have the best chance they've ever had to make a finals and ultimately maybe win a title. I wouldn't pick that though.
I agree with the logic of it's so wide open for them. It's a disappointment if they don't make the finals.
Yes,
they're the favorites in the East.
Yes.
So like,
I agree with that.
Like
Absolutely.
they should make the finals. I just don't think a team like my logic, it's kind of what we'd be talking about, my top 5 quarterback thing with the Super Bowl. Like, I just don't think a team with Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns is good enough to win the thing. I just
That's
don't.
it right there.
It's just like something in my heart tells me it's just not going to happen. Even though like the logic of the stars aligning for them to get there, it's right there. It really is. They're deep, like you mentioned. Love the Yabusele pickup. Like, he was awesome last year with Philly. We know what he did in the Olympics, obviously. He's an awesome depth piece. Jordan Clarkson can score in bunches.
That AI, there was like that AI dunk that he had over LeBron.
AI, brother.
Sora, bro. That stuff's crazy, man.
Yo,
the first ever Sora video 2 years ago.
So I get what everyone's saying. I understand that. But my thing is this. Last season, we would say the exact same thing about a team that made the NBA Finals and is literally a popped Achilles away from potentially winning it. Nobody would ever go into the playoffs, I guarantee you that, thinking that a team led by Tyrese Halliburton would be able to make and potentially win the NBA Finals. And if you're going to argue that a lot had to break right, they still pushed Oklahoma City to 7 games and still had a legitimate shot to win that.
But can't you argue that the basketball gods didn't allow a team like that to win the finals?
Well, the basketball gods got them there. That was the most magical run.
I agree that the basketball
I
gods
agree that the basketball gods got them there. But then The basketball
Luck had
gods
to run
didn't
out,
allow
so
them
we have
to seal
never
the
I
deal.
hate that it happened to Tyrese.
No,
but
I agree.
Luck
The
had to
basketball
run out.
gods like were on their side like we've never seen before. It was magical, but they didn't seal the deal.
Brunson's a better player than
Okay.
Tyrese Halliburton, and if you argue
No, I
with
agree
that,
with
you're
that.
I mean,
wrong.
yeah, obviously, but that's not saying much.
I'm gonna be honest. You could probably
Right.
argue that the only team that has the
So
personnel
it-
to beat us is Philly.
It's like
Philadelphia.
Again, Philly's they're on paper team again. Their team on
I
paper
agree with you,
looks
but that's all I'm
great.
saying. Like, I'm not scared of Cleveland in the slightest fucking bit. They don't put any fear into my heart because we
Yeah, but
will.
I think we should be looking out west. So, if we're
But
talking about
I-
win the finals,
Yeah,
that's
no,
what we
I
should be looking at.
agree. I agree. But you're
But
gonna
that's where
probably.
you lose me,
I'm
though.
giving pushback if they even make it.
Oh wow, you don't think they come out even?
They could, but I'm
Who the
not.
fuck's beating
I'm not,
us?
I'm not so sure though. You know what I'm saying?
Who
I'm
would
not-
be
Let me
your
say this, though.
favorite to? Sorry, wait. Who would be your
No, go
favorite to come out east right now? Oh, Sleazy.
Cleveland?
Okay, who would
Get
be?
the fuck out of here.
It's a fine take. Who would be your second favorite?
Probably New York.
Okay.
Cleveland's fake. Fake.
No, but I think Cleveland could be saying the same exact thing that we're saying for the Knicks.
100%.
Cleveland could be saying, "This is our best chance to win a title, post LeBron, pre LeBron, whenever." Right? So like, Cleveland should go in with this season with the same mentality as New York. Like, it has to be right now. It has to be right now. Does that mean it's going to happen? Obviously not. But like, those two teams are pretty clearly the best two teams in the conference. And when you have a conference like that, they have an equal chance to make it. I think that's fair. I think Cleveland is getting a bad rap. I think no matter what they do in the regular season this year, no one's going to care because they went on an insane run last year and look how it ended. So they're going to do the thing where it's like, well, we're not going to fight for those win totals. We're just going to try to get into the playoffs healthy, and we know what we're capable of, kind of thing. I mean, Cleveland, you're very down on him, Matt. I think
I don't believe in them at all.
I understand why though, because of Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland backcourt. I get it.
I've said
It's
for the
not even
longest
that.
time, I don't see it with them because their team construction goes against legitimately the two biggest principles of basketball right now. And it's you have two small guards and then two big bigs that like
don't
realistically, like Mobley can shoot theoretically, but nobody fears him. They're gonna leave him open every single time. So you're just packing the paint and it's your entire offensive production centers around the two guards and your entire defensive production centers around the two bigs. Like, it's just, I don't like their team construction whatsoever. It's not sustainable. It can't win a title, in my opinion.
Okay, well,
I don't
y'all
even-
offensive construction is around one guard, one big.
But it's not because Macau and OG can also score.
So can
You're more
DeAndre Hunter and
heliocentric.
Darius Garland. Well, DeAndre Hunter and, in this case, Jared Allen.
I'm just, but like
I don't even
Jack-
think that's the problem though with Cleveland. Like the roster construction, like I think
They
they
just have to stay healthy.
not even that. Like I guess it comes into health because he's always hurt. But like your problem is a small backcourt on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
I presume that's not their issue come playoff time. Their
At
issue
all.
come playoff time is that Darius Garland does not show up in the playoffs, whether he's
Well, that
whether he's
persists
injured or
as well,
not.
yeah.
But it's not even on the defensive side of the ball. He's been relatively really bad in his shortened postseason experience so far in his career. That's the problem. And I said this a few months ago when we slightly covered basketball, but like that's their issue there. You know Donovan's going to show up. We know the leap that Evan Mobley took. Jared Allen, the lights may get too bright for him at times, but like you could win despite a Jared Allen having a bad game here and there. We know they're deep. You get DeAndre Hunter. You lose Ty Jerome, which sucks. You want to talk about rookies having an immediate impact. He's not on. I tweeted about this the other day, actually.
Tyrese Proctor?
He's not on Duke anymore.
I love
Tyrese
Tyrese
Proctor
Proctor,
is the perfect Ty Jerome replacement.
Yes.
The perfect Ty Jerome
Absolutely.
replacement. Year one, will he be able to have an immediate playoff impact? Maybe not.
Who
It's a
knows? He
rookie
could.
and stuff. But
And then
like,
you got Zoe, too.
to hit some shots, Zoe, if he stays healthy, like they're deep. They're just maybe you guys are deeper, but they have a deep rotation. For Cleveland, it comes down to does Darius Garland show up on the offensive side of the ball come postseason time to take the pressure off Donovan Mitchell? And to this point, I say no. Based on what we've seen, I haven't seen it yet.
I think that in certain matchups, and I think the Knicks are one of them, you can't survive with those two small guards on the court when you have to play against a guy like Jalen Brunson. They will hunt it. And they
But
have
I mean,
You
but
shown
say
that
the
they
same
will
thing on the
hunt it.
other side
I
of
was
the
just
ball.
about to say
The
you can
Cavs will
flip it
hunt
and
the
say
hell
the
out of
exact same thing.
He's the only guy, though.
But
it's not two guys on the
no,
court.
yes,
that are,
it is two guys. You're hunting the fuck out of Jalen Brunson and Karl Towns in the pick and roll.
That's the thing.
Every
You were
time
just
down
thinking
the
backcourt
court.
guys.
Every time
Yeah.
down the court. We saw it last year.
Every time.
We saw it with the Pacers last year.
So I think every team,
was
no matter
more
how
just that,
top
though,
good they
why
are,
we lost.
they have holes, right? I think ultimately Cleveland, something that we haven't really talked about, like who do they have any dogs on that team? Like, is there any dogs in Cleveland?
Donovan.
Like,
DeAndre
Donovan.
Hunter.
I feel like a team like New York, the grittiness. Like
DeAndre
again,
Hunter's
this is
a
me playing
dog.
devil's advocate, but like I don't know. Cleveland comes off a little soft to me.
they do.
I agree.
And a team like New
That's fair.
York, that's their whole thing, like right, like that should be their thing. Where we got
Yeah, that's New
these
York's
3-and-D wings, right?
thing,
Like
though, you see what I'm saying?
Brunson,
That's
and we
New
got
York
OG
basketball.
and McCall and McBride coming in, and they got these kind of like that's their mentality. And
Mitch.
I know Mitch. There's question marks with Mitch, but like he's a presence inside, one of the best offensive rebounders in the league, and all that. So I think that could be the factor that decides a series like that. Because offensively, both of those teams are. I think the Knicks are heliocentric. It remains to be seen what we see them do offensively this year under Mike Brown. I'd like less of that if I'm a Knicks fan. I don't want the ball in Brunson's hands, and at the end of games, it's like everyone knows what's happening, and
I
they're
agree.
sent to it, and now Hart doesn't know what to do with the rock and all that, right? So I think that if they can play with some more space and let other guys create a little bit throughout the year, that could bode well for them in a playoff series. That if Brunson is struggling a bit, you have other options there. But I think that's the thing with Cleveland. That's the question marks with Cleveland, though. I don't know.
I think they
offensively,
have
they're special.
dogs. Like, Don's a dog. I think Evan Mobley, like, you look at him being a skinnier, lankier dude. Evan Mobley's a fucking dog.
I don't know if he's a dog.
Watch the games. He's
Dog.
a dog.
No, he's a
Evan
great
Mobley's
basketball
Is he a
player.
puppy? He might be a
He's
puppy
a
dog.
puppy. Yes, exactly.
I think
he is
Evan
not
Mobley,
a dog.
like, after what we saw last year, Evan
I
Mobley's
like
a
Mobley.
dog. I thought he
Dean
was
Wade,
he
dog.
was fine for them in the play. Like, he wasn't the reason why they lost. Like,
Dean Wade.
he wasn't the reason why they lost. To me, the one reason why they didn't beat the Indiana Pacers was because Darius Garland didn't show up. And it's not the first time, because we saw it a few years ago against you guys. He's the one who's a puppy. Who you might even say he's
Jared Allen's a little bitch.
you might even
too,
say
but
he's a cat.
that's
Jared
just
Allen
that.
was fine this
Hey,
past
hey,
year in the
hey.
playoffs.
Maybe the word is enforcer.
What are you
Maybe
really
that's the
expecting
word.
out of Jared Allen? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
So,
Not
To be
get
an enforcer, to
bitched
be a big
around
man
by
down there.
Mitch.
That's the word. Maybe it wasn't dog. Maybe it's enforcer.
he's gonna play defense and grab boards, but like you're expecting way more out of Darius Garland than you are.
But
Jared
I
Agreed.
think
Allen.
No, I
Evan
agree.
Mobley is an enforcer in a different way. Like, he's not an enforcer in
I think
like
Evan Mobley
I'm
can
gonna
completely take Cat out of a series.
right.
personally.
He's not an enforcer in a way of like I'm gonna bully you, but he's an enforcer in a way of I can clog down everything in this paint. Like, he's Wemby's a one of one, but like it's that type of impact he has on that side of the ball. Anthony Davis level type of impact he
Yes.
has on that side of the ball to deter people. Rudy
Absolutely.
Gobert level to deter people away from the rim with his shot blocking presence. Like, Evan Mobley's a dog and an enforcer. He really is. It's not him. Like, I know he's going to do it, even if he's not scoring. Obviously, you want him to take a jump offensively to turn into the next Kevin Garnett, like people proclaimed him to be. But, like, defensively, you know what you're getting
get
out of
stopped.
him.
He'll
you
get
know
plenty of stops.
Right. You know what you're getting out of him. Donovan Mitchell, like, we know what we're getting out of Donovan Mitchell come playoff time.
I mean, let's just be honest. Donovan really didn't show up all that much last season too, either. But like, that's in the playoffs. But that's just a whole nother thing. Nobody really showed up for Cleveland, if we're being honest.
I mean,
in
against
the series
Indiana,
against
he
Indiana
did all
last
he
year.
he did all he can.
The thing about
But again, like when
What'd he do? He had
in,
that
in
50 piece?
instances like that where
Was it 50?
Donovan isn't producing, this is where you expect Darius Garland to.
He's supposed
drop
to.
his nut.
I agree with you. Ty Jerome was supposed to step up a little bit too. He couldn't do it either.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
Donovan
just saying-
averaged 34 in the series. Like,
It
Dog.
was granted it was very inefficient, but regardless, like you got to be inefficient when you're taking a million
I would
shots.
say,
because
and when you're in the
nobody else
playoffs,
can
empty the clip.
Yeah,
I don't care
yeah,
about
yeah.
efficiency in the playoffs, bro.
I get that. To your point, Christian, before of taking the ball out of Brunson's hands, back to the Knicks on that part. I think you finally did something that's going to be able to do that. Number one, the Mike Brown edition. Number two, you added two guards off the bench in Jordan Clarkson and Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon very good at running an offense. You could talk all you want, Sleazy. If he does one thing, he does play the point guard position, at least in terms of distributing the basketball. And then Jordan Clarkson, I mean, over the years has turned even better into a playmaker. Like he's
looking
become
to shoot that thing.
He is. He definitely is. But
He's not looking to make a play for
he
nobody
averaged
else.
4 assists a game last year. I
on the
believe.
Jazz. On the fucking
Yeah.
Jazz. Like,
And I know, again, but from a guy that you expect to just be your sparkle off the bench, that's pretty nice to know he can
That's great.
get some.
Four
some
assists
I
to
mean,
nice
yeah,
Jordan
he can.
Clarkson
He's
is
a guard.
great.
It's kind of like in their blood. He can pass the ball.
Sure,
He can
sure.
facilitate and play make.
By the
but
way, I'm not even looking at a guy like Clarkson to do that. Again,
has one
the Knicks
job.
need guys to come off the bench and score. Like,
Yeah,
period.
he has one job.
They averaged
Bingo.
24 a game off the bench last year. Like, it was horrendous. The Lakers, the only reason I know that stat is because the Lakers were 29th. But they were 29th. They played a bench. Their bench was just so bad. The Knicks didn't play a bench. Now they have a bench to play. And I think that's gonna help them ultimately.
Yeah. I'll close with this. Like, I don't hate it. Like, they are a title contender. They should be the favorites in the East, but you're doing yourself a disservice as a fan, I think, if you're counting the Cavaliers out in a series against them.
until proven otherwise.
I'm about to say, Philly might really.
Philly? Come on, bro.
Oh my
I
God.
agree.
I think
And
the
the reason
Shield
I
is
say
back.
that, I agree, is because
If Joel Embiid can just be there,
that's not even the
that if-
thing.
that
I
if has been-
fear
He takes
in a
y'all
play,
6.
bro. I really think Tyrese. We talk about dogs. Tyrese Maxey is a fucking
Dog.
dog.
Oh, I love
That's
him.
a dog.
I love Tyrese
I
Maxey. I
don't
love him.
I like Joel.
You don't
doesn't
wanna
even-
see them. You don't wanna see
exactly.
them.
I don't want to see them. I don't.
Well,
you don't want to see Detroit either. If I'm being honest,
All right, bro.
you don't want to see Detroit, bro.
You're doing
I wish,
so
I wish we had these problems in the West. I wish
All right.
we had these problems in the West.
These are our 2026 NBA award predictions. Kicking it off with the MVP, I'm going with our guy, Christian, Mr. Luka Doncic. This is now the 4th year in a row, I think, that I've predicted Luka to win the MVP. It has to happen at some point. He's skinny now. He's looking for vengeance. They wrote him off. He's not going to write back. This is a guy he's going to average 38 and 8 at minimum, probably, on a team that could very well be a top 2 seed in the very rough, rigid, wild, wild West. So, Luka Doncic, this is the year. He's getting it done.
I mean, I'll follow up. I'm not picking Luka. I'm sure Christian will likely pick Luka, but I'm not going to be the one to pick Luka. I'm going right back to the well. It's so simple sometimes. He deserves to join historical territory. Nikola Jokic is going to win his 4th MVP this season after not winning what he, in my opinion, should have won last year, his 4th MVP. So there's very few guys in NBA history that have won 3, even fewer guys that have won 4. So I'm taking him to go do it, his 4th MVP, and a hell of a playoff run following up off that. So taking Jokic.
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. Piggyback right off of you. I'm going Jokic as well. Jokic had one of the greatest statistical seasons we've ever seen. You can argue greatest last year, and he lost MVP to a guy that was a rightful winner in Shea. Shea's team was just so good. He was the best player on that team last year. The NBA went with best player on best team, and I'm fine with that. But this year, Jokic has a squad.
Yeah.
Last year, he did not. He took the champions 7 games with a pretty weak supporting cast. They reloaded this summer. I mean, they are terrifying. He's going to have the record, the team record that I think is going to match up with the caliber of a season he will have. Right, you nailed it. 4 MVPs. To be in that room, you have to be one of the greatest players ever. And I think Jokic obviously is that dude. So I got Jokic winning MVP.
Oh, Sweezy, who do you got?
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I think Shea wins back-to-back MVPs here. I don't see him nor the team taking a step back. I think he'll be just as good, if not better. Last year, I still think OKC finishes as a top 3 seed, maybe even the 1 seed again. If he might not win, he might not have the 32 or 33 a game he had last season. He might go down to 30, 31 and get more assists, more rebounds, averages, obviously. But again, I don't think he's going to take a step back. I don't think the team's going to take a step back. So my pick for MVP, SGA.
Shoots.
So to round it off, if you paying attention to when I was talking about, who you want to give the ball to on the Bucks in the clutch, I definitely think Giannis is going to remind everybody why there's not that big of a gap between him and Jokic. I think Jokic has been really dominant offensively. His passing numbers as a player, not just as a center, as a player in general, are historical. And like when you look at the fact that Embiid won MVP a couple years ago and Jokic has been winning most of the time in the past 4 or 5 years, you kind of forgot about Giannis. I think he's going to remind everybody, wait, I'm the Greek freak. Like, I started this, winning MVP and Defensive Player of the Year a couple years ago. You're going to see high-level defense on a team where he needs to be that guy. You're going to see high-level offense on a team where there aren't really other options to do so. You're going to see a comeback for Giannis this year.
You think they win enough games for him to win the MVP?
I do.
That's why I didn't pick
even,
Giannis. I don't
even,
think they're gonna win
even
enough
if
games.
they don't win enough games, we've seen in the past, especially with Russell Westbrook, most notably, when you have a player whose statistical numbers are just so earth-shattering and their plus minus and all of their metrics reflecting how valuable they are on and off the court, that can do a lot for you. I think if Giannis gets somewhere between that 5 to 6 to 7 seed range, and he's like metrics for on and off the court are as dominant as they will be, he makes a really good case. He could legitimately average a near triple-double this year himself, or at least 30, 14, and I could see 30, 10 to 12.
If they at least
6
get
to
a
9.
7 seed,
they at least make it.
My pushback on that is Russell Westbrook winning the MVP that year. He did something that nobody else had done since Oscar Robertson. What we're seeing now is an NBA where everybody can put up these ridiculous statistics. And I don't want to say everybody, I'm stretching that. But regardless, there are so many guys. Jokic averaged the triple-double. Like, that's normal now. So you don't just have to put up ridiculous stats anymore. You also have to have team success that backs that up. And I just think, in general, you said a claim there that, I'm sorry, I just think is absolutely insane. Giannis is a ridiculous offensive talent. I take nothing away from that. Jokic is one of the single greatest offensive talents we have ever seen in our entire lives. And that is not just because he is a special scorer, because he is at all 3 levels. He is also one of the 5 greatest passers we've ever seen in, not our lives, in basketball history. So that's where I stand on that.
Word.
But
Jokic is he's one of the 2 greatest offensive players ever.
Yes.
It's him and LeBron James in that room, and that's it. So, yeah.
All right. Moving on along, I think this one will be very quick. I guess we'll do this one as just chime in if you disagree. The Defensive Player of the Year is Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah. It's his to lose,
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
The Shields.
Uh-oh.
He'll probably win. I do want to give a particular shout out to Evan Mobley. He had a really good defensive season last year. He continues to get better. I know Victor is like a metahuman, and he's definitely, people run away from him in the paint. You know, we see all the videos, highlights, and I know Victor's metrics are going to be really good, but that's not to take away from somebody like Mobley. You know, like he really is dominant, and like people like his. It's sad that his Defensive Player of the Year last year is going to be tainted by it's only because Giannis got hurt, but like he really is a deserved winner in his own right.
I get it.
and shout out Dyson Daniels.
Shout out Dyson.
Shout
Daniels.
out Dyson.
I love him.
That's my dog. I guess we just keep this thing rolling. Another one that I don't think any of us are going to disagree on. I hope so. The Rookie of the Year is Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any pushback there?
Cooper Flag should be.
Shout out VJ Edgecombe.
Love him too.
All right.
Flag's
I love
no.
VJ Edgecombe.
If anything, if it's not Flag, it would be definitely somebody that is like in a position to get a lot of minutes at like in a good offense. Like that could be somebody like that could be Dylan Harper if he eventually like makes a considerable moves and like gets into the starting lineup. That could be Con Knuppel.
Sleeper.
Like
Big
it comes
sleeper.
down to minutes. Con Knuppel could literally be the starting shooting guard, probably will end up being so very early, and like could easily have like a crazy season if LaMelo's feeding him.
Facts.
All right. Moving on, the Most Improved Player Award. I went with Andrew Nembhard to win the Most Improved Player Award. I just think the stars align. We've seen it throughout the course of his career when Tyrese Halliburton's not there. Even when Tyrese Halliburton is there, he's great. But he has an opportunity to take an expanded role this year with no Tyrese with the Achilles injury. And I think he's going to show he's more than capable of being a starting lead guard in the NBA who's one of the better scoring tiny point guards in the league that we have. So I went with Andrew Nembhard.
Yeah. I'm going with the guy that I've historically not liked, but I think Jordan Poole's going to win the most improved player this year. I really do. I think his fit with the New Orleans Pelicans is significantly better than his fit with an awful Washington Wizards team. I think what flies under the radar is Jordan Poole's improvement as an overall basketball player. I mean, look, the guy's averaging more than 4 assists with the Wizards, and yes, you could say that's because he's had the ball in his hands as much as he has over there. But you're kind of forced to improve as a playmaker. I think he'll get better looks in that offense over there with Zion taking pressure if he could stay healthy. I just think it's a perfect situation for Jordan Poole, and I think he's going to show out.
I'm going to go, and again, those are really good picks. I'm going to go on Men Thompson here. We see a guy in year 3. We don't normally see it from year 1 to 2. But I think 3, we can see that. He's going to have the ball in his hands because of the Van Vliet injury. I think that's a huge part of this award. I mean, last season, he was 14, 8, and 4. He played 69 games. This year, I mean, I'm looking at a guy, he could give you 20 a night. Those assists are going to be up. The ball's going to be in his hands. I think he's going to have the opportunity. He's a household name at this point. I really think we'll see that jump from Amen. So, most improved player, Amen Thompson.
What do you got, O'Sweezy?
So for my most improved player, I'm going with Jalen Johnson of the Atlanta Hawks. Now, it was my sole reason for this pick. Not only was because he was injured last year, I think he'll have a very improved role now that with the Hawks having the offseason they did have, bringing in Porzingis. They brought in some other notable names that blanking off the top of my head. But I think he's going to come back and going to be the same 17 and 8 guy a night. Probably won't have the best shooting splits, but still going to do a lot of the dirty work for the Hawks. If the Hawks win enough games, if the Hawks are a lot more noticeable to the media, I think this is low-key Jalen Johnson's award to win.
I like that. Moving on to the 6th man of the year. I went with a hot take here because honestly, I don't know if he's going to even end up starting. Maybe mid-season he ends up starting. I looked, they're playing a preseason game right now. Actually, he didn't start tonight. They went with the jumbo lineup. I went with Reed Shepherd to win the 6th man of the year. They went with the lineup with Amen, Jabari, KD, Sengun, and Steven Adams out there, which, like, they may do it come opening night. They may also try to go smaller. They could also end up putting Tari Eason in there. Like, I don't know who their starting lineup is going to be.
I love that.
But I love Reed Shepherd, man. I think we saw Peyton Pritchard win the 6th man of the year last year. Reed Shepherd's cut from that type of cloth.
Yeah, he is exactly like that.
Right, exactly. He just plays the game the right way. His parents raised him right. He understands angles. He's such a smart player.
Gritty, hard-nosed.
Gritty, yes, hard-nosed. Glue guy.
Bro
Yes.
said his parents raised him.
But, Reed Shepherd, this is a guy who shot 50-50 in his freshman year at college and averaged 2.5 steals. Like, he's
Shooter.
immediately one of the best shooters in the NBA. And with Fred not there, they're going to need his shooting. They're going to need him to step up. This is a team who they just added Kevin Durant. They were the 2 seed last year. They're going to be in the national spotlight, which I think helps Reed Shepherd's chances, having, these guys who should or shouldn't be voting on these awards, having their eyes on a guy like Reed Shepherd. So I think the opportunity aligns for him. My only pushback on my pick is he might end up being the starter. So
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, my pick, I'm going back to the well. I'm going back to my squad. Jordan Clarkson gets placed onto a team that is going to play winning basketball. He's already won a 6th man of the year in his career, and he's going to have plenty of opportunity to get in that game and shot chuck, just like he loves to do. We didn't have a bench last year, and he's going to lead the charge as the leading scorer off the bench for us this year. So, therefore, I'm taking Jordan Clarkson.
Who said that?
Huh? What'd you say?
Up the Shields is gone again. See you later,
my
Bubby.
God. See you later.
yeah, we got to get bro an Ethernet cord.
Wait, what'd you say? Hold up. I'm not letting you off the hook. Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead, bro.
Nah, go ahead. I'm done. I'm done speaking. I just want to hear what you have to say real quick.
No, you said that y'all had a bench, or where that he can come off the bench. Y'all didn't have much coming off the bench, and y'all still really don't.
We do. But
Gershon Yabusele.
Respect Gershon Yabusele, bro. Come on, man.
He dunked
on the
on
Run the
LeBron
Floor
James.
pod, we're not going to disrespect Gershon, dude. That's not
fucked
what
up.
we're going to do on this podcast.
Exactly.
If there's-
Olympic hero.
If there's one guy we're going to respect here, it's Gershon, all right? Like, come on,
All right.
man.
Sorry.
Like, there will be plenty of hate to go around.
Sorry, I
Like,
didn't know we were Yabusele Glazers here.
Gershon,
My
Gershon
bad.
is pushing it. Like, what does he do wrong? What does he do to deserve hate? Come on, bro. If you
Nothing.
want to talk about
He's
a guy,
honestly so likable.
a guy
He
who
literally-
plays the
literally
game
is a
the
very
right way,
likable player.
a guy who plays the game the right way. I mean, you need a rebound. You need someone to dive on a loose ball. That's Gershon.
Hit a corner three.
I
He'll
wish
do
he
it.
was
That's
on my
all.
team.
That's all fine and dandy, but he's gonna be wearing a Knicks jersey. So
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't
He's
like
built. He's built for the spotlight, brother.
I don't like the
He
Knicks.
is his nation's hero.
I like that tweet of the preseason game where he ran out in transition and got that dunk off the steal, and they said, "Who the hell is this fat guy?" I like that one.
I don't even know who
saw
he
that.
is yet.
Bruh, he looked like he came in about 35 pounds too heavy.
He looks like the round mound to rebound
He
out
saw
there.
some New York cooking, and he said, "I want all of it." And I mean,
Bro and Tobago's or us before the
Fat
game.
sack of shit.
oh god.
All right, what do you got for us at Sixth Man of the Year, Christian?
I'm gonna go with Alex Caruso, and I'll give my reasoning.
Wow.
I know the history of the award says that it's a guy that's gonna come off the bench and score. If you look back at it, but my reasoning for Caruso would be, I think OKC, because of what they did last year, everyone's just gonna have this like, well, we already know what they're gonna do in the regular season attitude, and I know you believe he's gonna win MVP back to back. I don't think they're gonna have any of those like major kind of awards. I don't think they might have the best record. I'm not sure if they will this year. So I think it's kind of one of those things where let's give a guy something because we know how great they are, even though, we don't have those we have those high expectations, but we don't know exactly what we're gonna get at. So I give me Caruso because defensively he comes off the bench and he's picking up guys 94 feet. He's wreaking havoc. They already have that defensive identity. They had one of the greatest defenses in the history of the league last year, and he was obviously a huge part of that. I know he's not going to put up those gaudy stats, but I feel like he might have some narrative driven for that kind of award. So give me Alex Caruso for Sixth Man.
It's tough. It's tough. If the award was called Most Valuable Sixth Man, he'd win it. You know what I mean? Like you mentioned.
I love the pick. I don't think the counting stats.
Yeah, no.
would be there, though.
Again, like I said, the history of the league says I'm dead wrong.
Yeah,
so
right.
Yeah.
you got to score to get this
I like the
award.
pick, though.
Period. But I'll go with him. I'll be different for a
I'm
second.
perfectly fine with saying he is the best sixth man in the NBA.
There you go. This is why we
Like-
have problems with awards.
Right.
Right. But yeah, no. I just totally
Definitely the
understand.
most impactful in my opinion. So by that logic, he should win it. What do you got for us, so sleazy?
Speaking of best six man ever, for my pick, I'm gonna pick Anthony Simons. Now, granted, I don't know what the starting lineup is gonna look like over there in Boston. If Peyton starts, or if he plays next to D White, or if Anthony starts and he plays next to D White, who knows? Well, either way, we can switch them. Either Peyton goes back to back, or I'm picking Anthony to win it. But if I think the lineup is gonna go how I think it's gonna go, I'm picking Anthony Simons. The same reason Sully picked Jordan Clarkson. The same reason I'm picking Anthony
Couple
Simons.
homer
He's
picks,
gonna-
bro.
He's gonna come off the bench and he's gonna shoot the skin off the ball.
Yep.
He's in the best offense to do so, given that we love to shoot threes. And that's what he's really that's what he's good at. I think and we have the national TV pool. It might not look good because the roster isn't
Because you
fine.
suck. Because you
All right.
suck. Yeah, because you suck.
But the media will see it. The media will see he'll average 16, 17, 18 off the bench. I think he can do it.
I like it.
I do like that pick. I do. I don't like your team, but I like that pick. So
I didn't want you to like it.
Yeah. And then the last award, the new award. Oh, Christian, go ahead. My bad.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Last award, fun award, clutch player of the year. I just went with my MVP. I went with Luka Doncic. Keep it short and sweet.
keep it home, brother. It's Jalen Brunson.
I know who he's picking.
It's Jalen Brunson. I mean, come on. He's the best clutch player in the league. It's that simple.
I'm with Chris here. Obi, give me Jokic. I mean, it's like this guy is inevitable at the end of games, and that inevitability lets them win all of these clutch games because no one has an answer for the Jamal Murray Jokic 2-man game. it's easy. I know Brunson's super clutch. My guy LeBron should have won it 2 years ago to get me started with that. But yeah, give me Jokic.
Squeezy, what do you got?
I think I'm gonna go with Steph Curry here. Really low key out of left field, but as y'all were making y'all picks, Steph was one of the first people to pop in my mind. I don't think the Warriors are gonna be in a lot of clutch games this year. I think they're either gonna be up a lot or down a lot. But in those instances where Steph does get to showcase his talents in those last 2 minutes, last 3 minute situations, I think Steph Curry can very much win the clutch player of the year.
We didn't even talk about the Warriors.
Oh, we didn't.
I'm sure they'll get their
Fuck
shine
'em.
throughout the season for sure. But it
Fuck
is
'em.
crazy though. Every time we mention like the Wild Wild West and all the teams, not a single one of us brought them up.
I did.
That
Did
speaks
you?
loudly.
I
That's
feel
When I
like
was
we,
talking about the
I,
Spurs, I said that was the Warriors are one of the teams that could probably beat the Spurs.
I feel like I didn't even hear that word the whole pod, Warrior. But
I'd fear the Warriors. I would actively fear the Warriors in a playoff series. Still,
I'd
to
only
this
fear
day.
him because of Al Horford, but it's neither
Al
here nor
Horford,
there.
man, what a guy.
They had a great end of last year.
Al did that,
post
bro. That's
Jimmy
worse
trade.
than KD going to the Warriors, bro.
I mean, you should be happy though. He ain't in your conference. He's
I am.
not, because
happy
of
for
those
him.
magical runs that he's been on. They're gonna be a team in the West. I mean, it's like
They're
it's just-
definitely one of the teams in the Western
they're-
Conference.
Exactly.
I
They're a
agree.
team in the
I knew
West.
you were gonna say that as soon as that shit came out of his mouth.
No, yeah, they're definitely
than
one of
that-
the teams in the West.
And again, what they did post Jimmy trade last year, it's like we see that a lot with teams because a lot of at the end of the year, they're playing a bunch of teams that maybe aren't playing for stuff, and they're hot and they need to win games. I saw with the Lakers a couple years ago when they made that conference finals run. It's a little tainted because you have a team that is playing so hard and they need to win those games to stay alive, and they're versing teams that are maybe out of it or already established at the top. So it tends to skew the record and tends to skew the advanced stats. But I think I like the Horford edition. I really do. I think they can be scary. I wouldn't pick them though. They have one. They
I'm
have the
glad they
oldest
finally
lineup
brought
in the
Kuminga
league.
back.
That was interesting as well.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to play those guys in a playoff series. I'll tell you that much.
Not Steph,
No.
Jimmy, and
Steph
Dre.
and Jimmy got hurt last year. That's the thing. Like if that
If
doesn't
Steph
happen,
didn't get hurt,
that's what I'm saying. If that doesn't happen, I might even look at the whole playoff scope differently. Like I genuinely think the Warriors could have won the title. That's where I was at last year. So, Christian, and I love it because I know how
Win
you
it.
feel about you. You are a Steph Curry believer, and I know that.
Yeah,
but
no, I'm not rooting for it. Let's say
I
that,
know.
but I'll be objective about it. Again, I think they might have benefited from us not getting to see because they're always going to get that what if thing. But
absolutely.
I mean, running into OKC in the next round, or again, if Denver, like, I don't see them beating either of those
they
teams.
coulda beat both.
I know the dynamic Jimmy brings, but again, and now they have the oldest
They
starting
would have
lineup in the
gave
league. Can
Denver
we say that?
hell.
Listen, I understand they're going to attack. They were going to attack Jokic and all of that, but
They
it's just
would've
I don't
gave
know.
Denver
That
hell.
team last year, they have more this year. To be fair, they're better. They're definitely better.
Significantly,
this
yes.
Yeah.
So I'll give them
Denver's
that. I
better
like
too.
pods actually. No, that's the issue though. It's like I think all the good teams in the league in the West got better, but like the really good teams also did get better. So like Lakers got better, but was it better? Was it good enough? You know what I mean? So because the top got better. So yeah, Golden State, they're in the playoffs. They'll win a round again probably if the matchup breaks their way, but I don't see anything beyond that.
I need you guys to do me a favor. Go run to that like button, press subscribe, hit that notification bell, and follow us on all of our socials. This was the first edition of the Run the Floor podcast, and I had a great time. I hope you all did too.
Absolutely.
So the first of many, this is the basketball pod that's going to be under the ball game name, and we look forward to getting more and more of you involved. Let's get some ball knowers in that chat. Drop W Run the Floor in the chat. And I say chat
Drop
in
some
the comments
WO
section.
sleazies in the comments.
Don't drop that. Drop LO sleazy in the comment section. But this was Run the Floor, and with that, that's not it.
No, there's no with
I gotta
that.
come
Just-
up with something.
Just leave a like, subscribe to the channel,
We'll
and follow
workshop
us
it.
on all
We'll
our
workshop
socials.
this.
we
I
need
know.
Workshop
something.
this.
Yeah,
We
maybe
out.
that's what they should comment. Comment down below what you guys want our outro to be. And that's
I
the
like
outro.
that.
That's the outro.
Run it.
Yeah,
Run the floor. Run the floor. We out. Never
Run it.
off